ever wondered what it was like to go to college for a weekend at Liberty University? Hi, I'm Trinity, and I'm going to be talking about my experience at LU and what you can expect if you go to college for a weekend. So yeah, let's get started. Hey y'all, it's Trinity, and in this week's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience at college for a weekend. I literally just got back like a few hours ago, and right after this video, I'm gonna go to bed. So I'm gonna make it quick. But I'm going to be talking about multiple different things. Firstly, what I thought about the campus, what I thought about the music program in particular, because that is what I want to study there, and what I was the most interested in going into it. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about any other additional things, so stick around if any of those things interest you. I'm going to be doing all different types of perspectives and also talking about what I've heard from actual students there. So let's actually get started with the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the campus. So if you aren't familiar with Liberty's campus at all, you've never seen any of it, you have no idea what you're going into at all, and you're just looking up this video so you know if you should even, if it's even worth the $50, which I don't think $50 is that bad, but Liberty's campus is in Lynchburg, Virginia. It wasn't super close to my house, but it's okay. I feel like it was worth the drive. The campus is really expansive. It is really big, and I've been to Regent University, so if you've seen that campus, it's pretty significantly bigger. The university has a lot of different departments. They have a school of music, school of education, school of nursing, etc., etc. I feel like there's something for everyone there. They have so many different options. If you don't know, Liberty is a Christian school. I believe they are Southern Baptist. I know they're Baptist, but I think they're Southern Baptist specifically. I'm non-denominational, but that's not really something that bothers me. I feel like the culture is just overall just very welcoming, very Christian. When I first got there, I was a little overwhelmed with how big it was, but I don't think it was too bad. I think it's something that you can get used to. The dining hall isn't super duper far from too many things, unless you live in South Tower, which is one of the farthest dorms on campus. Then it would probably be a little bit difficult getting there. For the most part, I feel like the campus was pretty, although it was really big, nothing was too far from each other. It was a big campus, but the buildings themselves were taking up a lot of space. When I went 2023 November, they're actually building a fourth commons, so I went there when there was construction going on, but I don't think it distracted from how expansive the campus was and how cool it was. I saw like their baseball stadium, soccer stadium, I think that's what it's called, all the different things, and I feel like the campus itself was really big and a little overwhelming the first day. The second day I started getting a little more used to the layout and it wasn't as overwhelming. I felt like I could roam a little bit more by myself and didn't feel like I needed people with me the entirety of the time. But that's something to keep in mind. If you want to go to college with a smaller campus, you want to go to a smaller school, then I don't think you'll enjoy Liberty's campus. It's good to visit because you never know if you'll like it, but as someone who actually doesn't mind, like I want to go to a bigger university, I don't mind that. Just keep in mind that it is a very expansive campus, so that's just something to keep in mind. But overall, I would say that the campus was nice. It was pretty well kept. I didn't notice any big things, like there was nothing that was like clearly broken, and like I'm pretty sure if there was anything was like labeled as like, oh, don't go here, and it was like super recent, like it happened during CFAW. Also, another thing about the campus, apparently according to one of the students when I did the campus dorm tours, commons in particular, which I'm also going to talk about the dorms and my experience in that, but what he told us, as in like me and my family, that the campus was really safe. It's one of the safest universities in the US, and I thought that was really interesting. Apparently, I think they have their own police force or security team, but it felt really safe. Obviously, since it's CFAW and there's a bunch of people going around, they have a lot of things unlocked, but usually you have to like swipe your like student ID or like card or whatever to get into like practically every building. So I felt really safe and secure there. Like I didn't feel nervous about being on campus, which was nice. But let's move on to the next section. Okay, the next section is going to be more about the community and like the more like entertainment side. Was I like bored or anything? Were people nice? Was the food good? That type of stuff. So more like student life things. Firstly, I just want to say I felt very welcome the entire time. I don't think there was a single time that someone at Liberty was rude to me or mean to me. And honestly, the only experiences that weren't necessarily bad but kind of just left a like bad taste in my mouth, you know what I mean, were only from CFAW parents. All the students were so nice. Like there were times where me and my parents would have to ask them a question about where something was because we were a little bit nervous, and they were so welcoming and nice and willing to just like share where it is. Even with the hill, how I was able to visit that dorm, my friend knew them, but they were like, oh, do you want to like see the dorm so you can actually see the space? They're very welcoming. The girls' roommates, they were like all willing to like let us in. They were so kind. Not a single person was mean to me the entire time. Everyone was so welcome to like asking questions. Obviously, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because I'm sure on a bad day people are gonna be mean, but it was very welcoming. Apparently, the food during CFAW is better than how it usually is, which is expected. They're gonna obviously want to give you the best food when you're visiting the campus. The food wasn't bad, but I can definitely see how you could get like used to it and find it old after a while. Like I can see how you can get bored of the food at their like main cafeteria. I think it's called Reaver Thomas. Like I think that's the actual name of it, but you can probably guess why they call it the Rot. I'll just say that. Cafeteria is they had different stations. So there was like a station for sushi, there was like breakfast stuff, there was a bakery. What else did they have? They had like Spanish food, different things that you could like visit. And like in the morning during breakfast, they wouldn't have everything open because like they're not gonna give you sushi at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? But like they'd open up the stuff during lunch and dinner. And it was easy to find out what times they were doing different things because it was all available on their website, and then the little booklet they hand you, like knowing like, oh, this is when they have dinner stuff, this is when they have breakfast stuff, this is when they have lunch stuff open. So it was very easy to get around. The only time that I really did not like being in that cafeteria was right after convocation, which I'm gonna talk about next. But right after convocation, my only piece of advice, whether you're going to CFA or like just attending Liberty in any form of fashion, do not try and go to the cafeteria right after convocation. It is terrible. You do not want to be a part of it. Literally felt like I was being a part of a stampede. That was the only part that stressed me out. But my friend, who was practically my like personal guide, she told me that like, yeah, it's usually pretty packed. It's not usually that packed because there's not as many students like rushing in. You're seeing convocation where the lady, she like was pretty much hammering down on the LGBTQ community, but she was speaking from a perspective of someone who used to be lesbian for like years and years and years, and kind of talking about why being gay is against God's will for us, and like the LGBTQ community and the agenda and stuff like that. It was interesting to say the least. The worship was amazing. Just say it was really nice, and although I didn't know every single song, I think if you go to Convocation a couple times, you would get used to the songs. Convocation was nice though. It was a little overwhelming getting into there, but once again, during CFAW, it's just everything's a lot more elevated, so obviously it's gonna be a little more overwhelming. Overall though, it was a pretty good experience. When it comes to like things to do within CFAW, I would say like there were definitely things to keep you busy. Obviously you can go around visiting literally every building, every single building other than the dorms. The dorms were not just open to everybody to just like, you couldn't just walk into someone's dorm. But like you could walk around pretty much every building, and if you were a student and you had a CFAW card, any buildings that are usually open to the public for students, just scan the card and go into, you could go in. On the first night, on Thursday, me and my friend and her friend, so I guess two of my friends of friends, we were walking around, and because they do like late night games the first night, we walked around and we saw that there was like a gym We were like, I wonder if we can get in. We swiped our little passes and we were able to get in. I have a lot of things to keep you busy, and I don't think you'd ever really get that busy as a student. But especially at CFAW, they're always having events to keep you busy. Like, I went to a worship night until like 11:30 yesterday night. I'm still super tired. That's why I'm gonna knock out when this video is done. But there's that. And then also their merch, this kind of goes with those sections, so I'm gonna mention it. I got merch the first day just because I was like, well, I want to make sure I get what I want, because I'm pretty indecisive, and I know I probably could have waited like 3 days, even though it's not even 3 days. I would have just came back. This is what I decided to buy, and then later on I got a shirt because, should I tell you yet? You'll be able to figure it out by the end of the video probably. But I was able to get another shirt later, probably saved like $40 because I didn't have to buy it. They just gave it to me. So I'm sure you can guess what happened there. But yeah, overall the culture of it all just seems really nice and welcoming, and I definitely would go back. Talk about Friday in particular, specifically about the classes. Now you have to keep in mind, I want to study music if I go there. So I am going to be talking mostly about the School of Music. So just keep that in mind. If you're not interested in the School of Music at all, I would honestly just skip this part because I'm probably only going to be really talking about it. I'll tell you at first like the structure of the day though. So Friday was a different day because you get to tour different classes that they do that day. So I went to a harmonic structures. It's basically a music theory class, songwriting class, which was literally my favorite one. I hope I get that professor if I go there because it was really, really fun. And then I did a fundamentals of music production, but I'm gonna talk about it in order. I'm gonna go through my day on Friday because it was an interesting day to say the least, and you'll see what I mean. So Friday you get to tour different classes, and obviously, like I said, I'm talking about School of Music, but you can do it for pretty much every school. Like, you can tour any single department you want to go to. Because the friend that I happen to go to CFAW at the same time with, she wants to do nursing if she goes to Liberty, and she did nursing classes. She tried to visit a math class. So there's a lot of options depending what you're interested in. Like I said before, I really think that there is something for everyone at Liberty. There's something that everyone can study or take away from it. But I would say, obviously, keep an open mind because you're coming in at the not exactly middle, but you have experience at this point in the semester. So obviously sometimes you're not going to understand any of it. Other times you might get lucky, and you never know, you might understand more than you think. Like, for example, the music theory class, I actually went to visit it because everyone was telling me that it's super crazy and terrible, and it makes them question their existence and whether they actually want to study music. Then there was convocation in the middle on Friday. I already talked about convocation and it was great, but convocation is from 10:30 to 11 something, but it's in the morning time. And then once again, don't rush the lunchroom, and don't try and take a class right after convocation because you probably won't make it. But then I did the songwriting class, and that was one of those classes where it was easy to see what was going on. I was able to actually take notes and understand what was going on. I got to be a part of the class discussion, and in that class we wrote a verse and a chorus, and we had to actually perform it from the class, and I got to work with one of the students and another CFAR to make a verse and chorus and perform it. It was an interesting thing to say the least, but that was fun. And then the last class, this is where things get interesting. So something I didn't mention is on Thursday you actually, I don't know if they do it every single CFAW, but for the one I went to in November, they for sure will probably do it. It makes sense why they would do it. On Thursday night they have a fair to see the different departments and see where you want to go, ask the people questions about different things. And like I said before, I want to study music no matter where I go, honestly, but especially if I go to Liberty. So I went straight over to like the music area with my friend. She was like guiding me over to there because I was a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of people once again. But we got over there, and like any type of music related things, like they had like their band stuff over there. They had like their actual school of music, and they had like actual professors over there too. A choir, but like their worship group that sings for convocation and stuff. And also sometimes it's like the worship nights called the Collective, which is like taking application and stuff. I did that way. Ended up talking to them, and they told me, oh, like if you want to, you can audition. Keep in mind I'm a junior in high school, so I told them like, oh, I'm a junior, is there only students that can apply? And I'm guessing, I'm going to assume the Collective is not the only thing that you can do this with. I'm assuming if there's other things where you have to audition, you can audition while you're still a student to like get the feel for how an audition as a student would be. So I didn't sign up for the audition then. I actually signed up on Friday because they ended up having extra spots, and I literally learned the song an hour before and then sang it. The Holy Spirit was like pushing me because I don't know how I learned that song in an hour, and I honestly sounded pretty good, all things considered. Like if I sounded bad, I would have known. My mom was telling me that she wasn't in the room with me, she was outside the room, but she was saying that like she could hear me and people were literally stopping. Although people were stopping when other people were performing too, because there's so many talented people that were performing. Like people were stopping, and like it sounded good. And all things considered, like you wouldn't have known that I just learned the song. And I feel like it's partially because the song was not difficult. And I think it's one of those things where if you get the chance to audition for anything, whether it be something music related or something else, because there were other things that I'm sure you have to audition to get into. They say that you can audition as a junior or senior in high school, just do it. After that, on Friday, they have like different activities, like that's where things like bowling and their worship night come in and like tie in. So overall, like the structure Friday was really fun, and you get to experience classes. And I think, at least for me in the music department, I think that they found a way to put the CFAWers into the experience without feeling too overwhelmed, because even the teachers would ask the students, like, can you explain this for our CFAWers, like what these concepts mean, or oh, CFAWers, be a part of this discussion, be a part of this group, or CFAWers, come look at what we're actually going to do when we're setting up these microphones. Because in the fundamentals of music production, they were like learning how to set up the microphones to record live drums. So it was like, oh, CFAWers, even though there's like a bajillion of you, you can come in and like see how that actually plays out in practice and not just like saying it from my mouth. So the classes were a really good time to see what you could actually get yourself into, and I really appreciated that. My closing thoughts. I really enjoyed it, and honestly, by the end of the experience, I am 99.99999% sure I'll be going to Liberty, and at the very least applying. I have the grades for it. It's just a matter of like actually saying yes. I honestly love the experience, and I definitely want to go there. Honestly, it's kind of my choice. Literally by like today, I started my application and submitted it, and I have to like certain things like transcripts I have to submit and stuff, but that's why I got this shirt for free. Actually, let me show you the shirt they gave me. Look at this shirt. This is Liberty Flames with their little eagle mascot. Overall, it was a good experience. I would highly recommend, at the very least, if Liberty is a school that you think you might want to go to, at the very least try it out, because you have no idea what could be awaiting you. And at the very least, if you didn't like it, then you know that that's a school that you can check off your list that you don't want to go to. But I definitely would recommend it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, or comment down below, any of which would be awesome. And if you can, make sure to follow me on my Instagram. We're going an amazing community on there, and I'm trying to post more. But yeah, I'll see you all next week. Bye.
The sun don't shine when you're not near. I don't feel like I do when you're with me. It felt like suddenly our souls collided, hearts